to the Dating is Hard podcast. I'm your host, Joe Welkie. For all information about this show, you can go to datingishardcomedy.com, follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy, and follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie. That's where all the updates on this show and the live show are. The Dating is Hard live show is every fourth Wednesday at Pack Theater. It's a by-donation theater, so if you got extra money that you can throw the theater's way, please do. But if you don't, guess what? You can still come and enjoy all the awesome shows that happen at the theater. Please subscribe, rate, review, give it 5 stars. Tell all your friends about the podcast if you're enjoying it. And if you're not, guess what? It'd be awesome if you could. Please keep that to yourself. Anyway, this is a podcast. It's all about dating and relationships. And I meet about 90% of my guests via dating apps. And that's how I met my guest today. So please enjoy her wild stories about Pizzagate and Halsey. Yeah, Halsey. That's right, everybody. Halsey, that's a little teaser for you. So please enjoy my chat with Nelly. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Dating is Hard podcast with me, your host, Joe Welkie. If you're not sure what this podcast is all about, I meet 90% of my guests via dating apps. I have profiles set up that say, hey, I'm looking for people to come on with unique, funny, interesting, out there stories about dating. And that is how I met my guest today. Everyone, please welcome to the show, Nelly. Nelly, thanks for coming on.
Oh, hi, thank you for having me. I'm
so happy to have you. I feel like a while ago when I was doing this, I matched with you and just, I'm only on it for like 2 weeks and then I'm just like, okay, whatever. And it didn't work out, but I'm so glad that it worked out this time. Thank you for doing it. We got connected on Tinder. How's Tinder going for you?
Oh my God. So this is probably like the 58th millionth time I've had Tinder, to be honest with you, probably since
58 million, everybody.
Time. Oh yeah. It's probably like an all-time record. I don't know. But I've been on it since maybe 2016 or 17 or whatever. And each and every time it's always been like a dumpster fire. I'll be honest. But, it's interesting because every now and then, I'll meet really cool, interesting people such as yourself. And
God.
So
all right, you know what? We'll end it there. Thank you so much for being.
But then most of the time, like 90% of the time, that's where I'll just get stories and,
life experience.
Yeah. And then now, it's so funny. I was telling one of my friends about this podcast and she's like, oh my God, now you can actually talk to someone about everything you've been through. It's like broadcasted therapy. I'm like, yeah. So,
sign me up. Except that you're talking to a complete dumbass, so don't expect any breakthroughs here.
That makes 2 of us. That's why I keep going back to Tinder, so it's fine.
Oh yeah. So you're on Tinder, or you're on any other ones right now?
Not at the moment, but usually I'm also, I use Tinder and Bumble simultaneously. Mm-hmm. So I kind of switch off, one or the other. I'll use them either at the same time. It's really weird, but right now I'm just on Tinder. Mm-hmm. So I think that's always been one my go-tos, just because there's more options on Tinder. I usually run to more people on Tinder.
Yeah.
But Bumble's really cool because I have control. I can start the conversation whenever I want with whoever I might want. And yeah.
Do you ever find that to be a problem though? Because you only have once you match with somebody, you have that 24-hour window.
Oh my God.
I've heard some people complain dude, I've matched with 100 people and I only have 24 hours to message them. And
exactly. Yeah, because I'm just I'll match with someone, right? And they're like, okay, cool. You have 24 hours to start a conversation with someone, right? And I would like to consider myself a good conversationalist, but when it comes to starting conversations on apps, for some reason, I just I freeze up. So that's another reason I like Tinder, because I'm not always in a position to start the conversation. But yeah, no, I'll just feel all this pressure, and then I'll message someone just for the sake of messaging them, and it'll be something really stupid.
Yeah,
right?
Just something generic.
It'll be something really generic, whatever, right?
Wait, do you have a go-to first message or something, or? Do you try to keep it interesting?
I do try to keep it interesting, so I try to make it so that it's a little personal to their profile, because I'm just oh, hey, this person may or may not have put thought into their profile, their pictures, either way, I want to highlight that, oh, you're into, surfing or something. I don't know, right? Like, I'm going to say, like, oh, cool, what got you into surfing? Like,
That's, you know what? Thank you for doing that. That's so appreciated. As a person that puts effort into the pictures that they put on there and the bio, dude, all the first messages I've ever gotten on Bumble have been like, hey, what's up? Hi. I'm just like, you.
It's so, like, impersonal, and it just comes off as really lazy.
Well, I also just feel like I put so many opportunities for you to, like, there's an icebreaker. It's just like, hey, it's me. Yeah. It's so frustrating.
Like, there's so many things that could start a conversation.
Yeah.
And, like, I could probably even show you my messages right now. It's just, hey, what's up? Or hi. Or how was your weekend? Like, do you really want to know how my weekend was? Like, I was in bed all weekend, like, doing homework or something. You really want to know how my weekend was? Like, is that interesting to you? Does that turn you on? I don't get it.
Yeah, fucking tell me about that homework, baby.
Oh, let me tell you about that discussion board right now.
Oh, did you happen to go grocery shopping?
Oh, use my reward points to get that milk.
Reward points?
Yeah, like if you have like a reward card or like a reward system with the grocery store, like Ralph's or something.
Oh, you can do that?
You can.
Really?
At Ralph's at least. Yeah, there's like a card. Like
Yeah, I have the card. I only use that for gas, though.
Oh, really? No, you can use that like for like discounts at Ralph's too.
I had no idea. You can get like free milk?
Well, not free milk, but like certain things that are like discounted.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you have the card, you get that.
Yeah, it has the yellow
discount.
tag and it'll be like...
Exactly. That's what I was trying to...
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then I always do that.
Yeah.
But then you add the points up, use the card at Shell gas stations, and you get discounts on gas.
Which is amazing because gas is too high here.
Yeah, gas is fucking ridiculous right now. I told my mom, I'm from Baltimore, gas there is like $2. I'm like, oh God, Mom, out here you'd kill yourself. It's like $3.60 right now. She's like, what? Yeah.
Cries internally. Yeah.
So you put like a lot of effort into like your profile and be like, hey, these are the best. Do you go, these are the best looking pictures of me, or these are the most interesting pictures?
I try to have like a good combination of both. Like I want pictures that like, like not only like, like look good and show off my good side, but I also want pictures that show off who I am as a person, because I feel like I'm kind of like all over the place and not at the same time. Like I'm an extroverted ambivert. I think that's what it's called. Like an
ambivert?
Ambivert, where it's like you're a cross between like an extrovert and an introvert. So like I just have like a lot of like, I don't know, just like character traits that like I really want to like highlight. Yeah. Like show people like, hey, this is who I am. I want to come across as like a catfish once you meet me in person. I'm like someone totally different than what you expected. You know what I mean? And like I remember showing my profile to my friend one time, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is exactly you." So that's how I know I'm doing something right. And it's really funny. My profile right now, I'm sure you saw, but so I have sleep apnea, and
Oh yeah, I did see this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have sleep apnea. That's a chronic disorder that I use a CPAP machine for, and that helps me breathe at night. Otherwise, like I just can't sleep for shit without that machine.
Do you snore without it?
No, I actually stopped breathing in my sleep, and like I wake up like gasping for air, and then just throughout the day it affects my daytime breathing too. Like I'll take like really deep breaths, and it's just not a fun time, right? So I do need this machine, and it helps me so much, right? So I'm like, okay, and I got this machine back in like July of 2019, and I was like, I want to make light of this situation because I really don't think everyone has a CPAP machine.
No, I don't think so.
And I'm just like an optimist, right? So I'm like, let me make the best of this situation right now, my chronic disorder. And so as my bio, I put, you can't take my breath away. I use a CPAP machine.
Yeah, I like that.
And as my last picture, I have a picture of me with my CPAP machine, and I put a caption in the picture that says, I wasn't kidding. So I just thought that was fucking genius. I'm like, this is good. It's simple, straight to the point. It's just like a little like one-liner, and everyone always thinks it's funny. So I'm like, cool, it works. You know?
That totally works. Nice, it lets people know.
What? Don't fucking take me hiking.
if there's some spending of the night going on, there will be a robot present.
there will be a robot. Yeah, no, it's like, oh, let me just put on something a little more comfortable, and I just like bring out this tube and like,
Gotta go to sleep with Darth Vader.
Yeah, it just goes over my nose, but like exactly.
Yeah. No, I do remember that now that you brought that up. That's it's like you can't take my breath away. I have a CPAP machine or whatever. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, and it's like, like people have told me that like, oh, when I first read that bio, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's really funny. And then they get to the last picture and they're like, oh my God, like she actually has a CPAP machine.
It's like, this is evidence, right?
This is proof. Okay.
Yeah, I always, when I make my profile, so I do stand up. I also do like aerialist circus stuff.
Okay.
So I have like, there's a pic. The first picture of me is usually just like a picture of me, like a headshot or whatever. Just not like a, hey, this is my acting headshot, but like this is what I look like straight on. Right. Then it'll be a picture of me doing stand up, a picture of me doing the circus stuff, and then it'll be a picture of me with like my friend at like Disneyland or something. And then it's so discouraging when it's like I'm putting all of this, like I'll be wearing a band shirt. It's like, hey, do you like that band?
Right.
And it's like the messages that I get are just like, hey, it's like,
what's up?
I'm a fucking interesting person.
Inquire about me.
Ask a question. And none of that led to any questions
it's like
at
everything
all.
just flies over their head,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like they just kind of, okay, cool. This is a person.
Yeah,
Hi.
exactly.
Yeah.
Chicks, man.
Dudes, man.
Chicks.
Dudes.
So, what do you look for when you're on dating apps? When you're like swiping right, if you see something that you like, what is it? What makes you swipe right on a person?
Okay. One of the main things that makes me swipe right is a sense of humor, or something just really just interesting about the person. Like maybe like an interest of theirs or something, right? I don't know. Humor, that's just like a top thing for me. Like you gotta be funny. Like I can't have a conversation with you and then just lulls off and I'm like, okay, what do we talk about now? Like I can't.
Hey,
be
where's
here.
the bits, buddy?
Yeah, come on. Like I used to be on like an improv team. So it's like, like I need more of those yes ands and all,
Yeah.
And But yeah, humor for sure. If they have like a really cool picture, like I want to see that they're out there just like living their life or at least like making like the most of it, So yeah, I guess like that's one of the things. But also over the years, I think like my interests have really changed the more I've been disappointed by the people I've met off the apps.
Really? What's changed?
So when I initially started using them, I was, looking to like start relationships and whatnot, which I actually did. Like I actually got 2 relationships, one off Tinder, one off Bumble. Both were good. They ended for their own reasons. But yeah, like I would just continue to meet like douchebags and whatnot. And I'm just like, now I just kind of have them, but I don't really know why I'm on it. I'm just kind of there. I think it's just like meet new people or just like for entertainment.
Yeah.
As well, because I'm also just like so busy too, so I don't really have time to like do a relationship right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is fun to like judge people.
It is. Like I feel like an asshole for it, but it is.
No, it's so fun. Everybody loves doing that. Like you shouldn't feel like an asshole because there's like millions and millions and millions of people on them, and it's just fun to be like, you live or die with the swipe of a finger.
Exactly. Like whether or not we have a future together just lies in the swipe of my finger. Right. Which is true. And I mean, like, I guess, like, it is superficial in the sense that, like, when you see a profile, the person's face is the first thing that you usually see. So,
yeah. I mean,
so that makes sense.
That's why the bio, like, you have to click to see the bio,
Right,
That's why I put on my thing when I'm on here for the podcast. I'm like, it's a picture of me, and it's like, please read my bio.
Yeah, like, look at the bio.
Well, that's interesting. And I've talked about this before, but, like, Tinder's the only one that you can put text on. Because I tried to do it on Bumble with that same picture where it says, please read my about me or please read my bio.
Right.
Bumble doesn't allow pictures with text overlay on them.
Really?
So it got taken down, and then it was just like, it's harder to get people from Bumble because then it's just a picture of me with my podcast equipment and like the studio, quote unquote, apartment, desk, table, computer. And then I have it all written in my bio about like, I'm looking on a podcast, and then I'll match with people, and they'll be like, oh, I don't want to do a podcast, though.
It's like, why did you match with me?
Exactly.
Why'd you swipe on me?
Dude, even times when I have, like, please read my about me on Tinder, people are like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Right, and I remember, like, your opening message to me was, hey, I hope you read my bio just so you know what my intentions are, and I was like, yeah, dude, like, of course I want to go on your podcast. Like, that seems like so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so many people, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh, I just read it just now. I'm not interested. It's like literally the only picture you see of me, it says, please read my about me. And there's that picture. Then there's the picture of me with the microphones. And then there's like an ad for my podcast where it's like, you can find it streaming on all of this stuff.
Like literally all the pictures are about the podcast.
Yeah.
How did you miss that?
Dude, stupid people, man.
It happens. I mean, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll even have, like, people, like, you know, like, I'll tell them, like, oh, like, you know, like, I'm going to work or I'm off work, whatever, right? And they'll be like, oh, like, what do you do for work? What's your job and stuff, right? And, like, I get it. Like, if you've matched, like, a lot of people, like, you're not going to remember what everyone does. But at least if you're talking to someone in that moment and you're still on Tinder, you can refer back to their profile. And if they have their job listed there, you can see what their job is or, like, where they went to school. Because I'll get that, too. Like, oh, where are you going to school? Like, it's right there. Yeah. It's literally right there.
Do the smallest amount of research.
Yeah.
Literally press your thumb to my picture and all of this information is there.
Right. It's like right there.
All right, so we talked a little bit about what you look for. Do you have any deal breakers? So you see this thing, you're just like, fuck no.
Conservatives.
Oh, okay.
Can't do it. I can't do it. I tried. That's not to say that I haven't tried. And I do have some stories.
Well, let's
like,
fucking
oh
do
my
it.
God. So, okay. I told my cousin about this one. She was laughing. She's like, you gotta tell this one. So, so this guy I met on Bumble in, oh my God, what was it? I think exactly 2 years ago. I think it was like October or November of like 2017, I think it was. And so when we had matched, right, like I was like, okay, cool. Like he seems like a cute guy. He was pretty educated. Like he was like an engineer. He graduated from like some master's program in like England or something. Like I don't know what.
Man.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like that's like another thing too. Like I want personally, like I just like someone that's like educated. Like that's just me. But yeah. So we matched and we started talking and we met up for sushi. Right? And it's funny because now, like, I live right across the street from that sushi place.
You're just haunted by it now. You
So
see it and
like,
you're like, no.
Like, every time I see that sushi place, I just think of him now. And I'm like, oh, God, I live here now.
Triggered.
Triggered. So we sat down and stuff, right? And at this time, so, like, I'm currently in psychology major. But at the time, I had, like, just switched to psychology from biology. So the way, like, my academic journey went, like, just to give context, I used to be a computer science major. God knows why. I don't know. And then I switched to biology for 2.5 years. I was pre-med, wanted to go to med school. And then I was like, organic chemistry. Fuck that.
Yep. Organic chemistry is the gatekeeper.
Yeah. And then, it was that and like physics as well. I couldn't.
You had to take physics for bio?
Yeah, oh my God.
My sister was a bio major and she was telling me the horror stories of like organic chemistry is like, that's separates the men from the boys or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah, no, all I know is that like it killed me inside. Like, yeah, for med school at least, like the ones that I was applying to was like, yeah, organic chemistry, physics, calculus even. So all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
So computer science, biology, and then psychology. And that's where I'm at now, and I'm so happy with what I chose, right? But, so I told him this. And this should have been like the first red flag to me, but at the time I was just like so naive too, you know?
Just like, oh, this guy's so hot.
Yeah, oh my God, he's so hot. He's like, oh my. So he's like, wait, so you went from computer science to biology to psychology? And I'm like, yeah. And like what I'm doing with my hands right now. So he's like, okay, so you're here, like his hand up high.
You're like the top of the food chain.
And then he's like, then you went here, put his hand a little bit lower. And he's like, now you're here, and put his hand way low. So I'm like, what is that? Just because you're an engineer? Like, I don't get it. Like, are you trying to like say that like I'm not smart with like my change in majors and whatnot? Like, they're all STEM majors. Like, I think I'm pretty proud of myself, you know? Like, I just happen to change majors. Like, is that you asserting like superiority like over me in some sense? It was just really stupid, kind of like cockiness in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so I should have seen that, and it did bother me a bit in the moment, but I kind of let it slide, right? Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, it's fine. And we talked for a little bit more after the date, and then he just kind of like disappeared. So I'm like, okay, I mean, like at least like tell me if you're not interested, but also like don't ghost me, right?
Yeah.
And then he hit me up maybe like a month later, and he's like, hey, I'm off work early today. Did you want to like go grab coffee or something? And my dumbass was like, yeah, let's grab coffee.
How old were you?
Oh my God. I was 21, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was old enough to know better, but I don't know.
Fuck it.
Fuck it, right, yeah. So, we got coffee, and we're talking, and so he was just like, okay, I'm just curious, what got you into psychology? So he was like still on this, right? And, like, I'll try to make it short, but I'm really passionate about, like, human trafficking activism, actually. And, like, I used to be, like, the president of, like, a trafficking, like, awareness club at my community college. And, like, I volunteered with, like, a rescue nonprofit. And I learned about the lack of mental health care for survivors of human trafficking. So I was just like, oh, my God, like, this is something I'm actually interested in. And, like, I met with a clinical psychologist who provides mental health care to survivors. So I'm like, this is something I'm actually interested in doing. So that was my main reason for switching to psychology as a major. And he, he actually, like, found that really fascinating. And he's like, okay, cool. Like, wow, like, that's amazing. And I'm like, thank you, yeah. And then, oh, God. So later, he was like, hey, like, I think it was around, like, lunch or dinner time. I don't remember. But he was like, did you want to, like, go grab dinner somewhere, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, like, let's do it. Where do you want to go? And I don't know if you've been, but have you been to Boca di Beppo?
I've heard the name before, and I was like, I don't...
Yeah, it's like a...
What is it?
It's an Italian restaurant that... Okay, it's an Italian restaurant where the portions that they give you are just... They're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, it tells you, like, it serves, like, 2 to 3 people, and if anything is, like 1 2 to 3 person plate can serve, like, easy maybe, like, 3 to 4 people. Like, they're just giant,
yeah.
Right? So just, like, keep that in mind, okay? Like, that'll come into play later. And we go to the restaurant. So we sit down, everything's cool, we're looking at the menu, and we're like, okay, let's just, like, find one plate that we can both agree on and just order that one thing. Okay. So we pick something, we're waiting for the food to come. So he, like, turns over to me, and he's like, have you heard of Pizzagate?
Oh, boy.
And at the time, like, I genuinely had not heard of it before. So I'm like, what's Pizzagate? You know, like I'm kind of, like, giggling because, like, the name is just really funny to me, right?
I'm kind of annoyed that everything that's, like, quote-unquote scandalous now has to have a gate thing.
Yeah.
The Watergate scandal was because the hotel or whatever was
literally
named
Watergate.
It wasn't like like the New England Patriots was called like Spygate and like Pizzagate. It has nothing to do with a gate. These fucking people.
Right, the gate stemmed from exactly like the hotel that you said. I completely understand.
Pizzagate. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to have that little aside. Everyone, stop doing this gate bullshit. I fucking hate you if you do that. Anyway,
just leave the gate, okay? Hashtag leave the gate.
Close the gate.
Yeah, close. That's actually better. I like that. So I'm like, okay, what's Pizzagate and stuff, right? Joe, when I say we were there, I kid you, I wish I was exaggerating. It was like 3.5 hours.
Detailing Pizzagate?
Detailing Pizzagate. I barely had a chance to, like, speak or say anything throughout that whole thing.
Oh my God.
I'm a person that has a small appetite. Like, I fill up really quickly and I can't eat much. I finished most of that plate by myself because he wasn't eating and I wasn't talking. So while he's telling me about this conspiracy theory, which every time, like, I would, like, try to reflect to show him, I'm like, oh, cool, like, yeah, I'm interested in stuff, right? I'd be like, okay, wait, so this conspiracy theory, and he would interrupt me aggressively. He's like, it's not a theory, it's real, this is real. I'm like, oh my, okay, all right.
I was about to make a joke about, like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that, like, that all of that's real, though, right? And then, but, like, this guy earnestly was like, no, it's all real.
Yeah, no, like it gets worse and stuff, right? So he was telling me about it. And for those of you, like, that don't know what Pizzagate is.
Yeah, give, like, a brief synopsis of what Pizzagate is.
I'll do my best to describe it from whatever I can recollect, because honestly, my brain was just fried from that. But it's a conspiracy theory that I think Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and, like, other, like, big, like, Democratic, like, figures, and you can interrupt anytime, like, if you have something. But...
like, political figureheads.
Yeah, like, the Democratic political figureheads are running a child sex trafficking ring under a pizza shop in, I think it was, like, New York or Pennsylvania. I don't remember where.
Oh, I thought it was in D.C.
Or was it D.C.? I don't know. It was somewhere, and, like, there's, like, an actual, like, pizza shop that they're like, oh, this is the one. There's a child sex trafficking ring happening under it, and, like, if you support Obama and Hillary Clinton, you're supporting, like the trafficking of, like, children and whatnot, which obviously isn't a great thing, but at the same time, it's so crazy to me. You know?
There's, like, so many intricacies to that theory that it's just wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a bit much. And, like, you know, like, I love a good conspiracy theory every now and then, but this was just too much because he believed it so heavily, and he thought that I would be interested because I said that I'm a psychology major because I want to help survivors of human trafficking. So he's like, oh,
Well, I mean, in his eyes, this Pizzagate thing is true.
Yes.
It would relate to what you're doing.
It would relate to what I'm doing, exactly. But then he also knows that I kind of think things through. You know?
Once you start poking holes in you're just like, wait a minute, how is that fucking thing?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember like asking him, because I was just curious. I'm like, wait, do you have like any sources on this? Like any? Because I'm the kind of person where like, if you're telling me about something like this, like I want to see proof at least. You know, like I'm not gonna doubt you immediately, but I want to see something about it. You know. And he sent me a Reddit thread, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know how credible this source is, but I mean, okay.
I mean, there's written words on the internet, I guess.
Right. But so, like when I mentioned earlier, like conservatives and like, you know, so he told me that initially, like for like the 2016 like elections, he was originally supporting Bernie Sanders and stuff, right? So it's like, okay, cool. Like at the time, like, you know, Bernie was running as like independent, and then he switched over to like Democratic or whatever. But he said that after he learned about this, I'm just gonna say theory. I'm gonna call it what it is, okay? After he learned about this theory,
Pizzagate.
Yeah, he was like, oh my God, Bernie's probably a part of this too. They're all crooked. I'm gonna support Trump. So he literally voted for Trump in the 2016 elections because he believed this theory so deeply. I'm like, are you fucking serious? What? So that was just too much. And then, you know, the date was over. It was cool. Went home. And then I don't know why, but we met up for a third date.
Oh my God. You have no one to blame for it but yourself for
yes,
this.
Yeah, no, but this one was our last one.
Oh, this guy had to be super hot.
Honestly, he was, and he was like my type too. He was my type too, so that's why it was kind of hard for me. Like I said, I was just stupid. I was very naive, right?
Pizzagate, whatever.
Yeah, right. So we went on this third date, and I thought, okay, maybe that was just one thing. I'll try not to open up that Pandora's box again, right? We'll push it off to the side. So we went to what's that restaurant in the Century City Mall? Italy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we went to Italy, and we're sitting down.
This guy really loves Italian restaurants.
I guess so. Yeah, there's something about the Italians. I don't know.
Yeah,
Pizza.
Pizza. Also, white people food.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but so we went. And we're sitting down, and everything is cool, and like it's a really pretty place. I don't know if you've been, but like it's like I think it's like a nice like date spot. Like I don't know, it's cute.
I've been to the one in New York.
New York. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's really nice.
Yeah, it's really. I had a friend that worked there. It's cool.
Oh, nice, very cool. Yeah. So we're sitting down, and we're talking, and I mentioned something like even if I actually remember, like I wouldn't be able to like tell you what I was talking about, but he somehow took that and twisted it in connection with Pizzagate again. All over again. We started. I'm like, oh my God. So again, we're sitting there, Joe, for like 2 hours, I think. And this guy's still talking about Pizzagate, and he's telling me about how like he got his whole family to believe it too.
Oh man.
His mom and everything, and they stopped using like Pepe memes because of all that, because apparently there's some connection to like that as well.
Yeah. Like Pepe the Frog is like some kind of alt-right type of meme.
I think so, yeah. So, and he's like, yeah, that was like another thing as well. He's like, you know, I keep hearing people like use the term alt-right. I don't even know what that means. I'm just like, okay. So I really did try. I tried with conservatives because there were a couple others besides him, but he was definitely like the.
I mean, you tried because he was hot.
Okay.
You gave him the benefit of the doubt because you're like, this guy is smoking.
It's the halo effect. In psychology, we call that the halo effect.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, so I know about the halo effect, lady.
So I think that's what ended up happening. And yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's crazy. Hot people can be pieces of shit too.
Who would have thought? But yeah, that's definitely like one of my favorite stories I like to tell when people ask about like any like Tinder horror stories or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that. There's a lot of levels because they just like first date shit on your like chosen major where you're like, this is something I care about, and he's like, oh, you're down here now.
Yeah, like you used to be up here, now you're down here.
I could understand what he was talking about, like, because when you're like computer science, you're like, I don't know why I did that. The first thing in my head, I was like, oh, probably money. Like computer science, make a fuckload of money, dude.
You definitely can, and I wanted to work at Google, and then I realized like I can't program for shit. So even when I tried.
Yeah, and then bio. My sister was a bio major. She wanted to do like the whole. She's a dietitian now, which is awesome. But like now you're talking my language because I did communication and social psychology.
Nice.
So
okay.
Now and hey, here we are. Now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, but, it all comes from full circle. It's all good. It's all good.
Psychology. Halo effect.
What up, Freud?
I don't know how somebody can talk. Okay, so I do this podcast. It's all about dating.
Okay.
And usually the episodes are like an hour long. I don't know how you could talk about one topic because like this will take crazy detours. Like every once in a while it'll just be like, hey, well, you'll end up talking about like vacations or some shit.
Right.
I can't imagine talking about something for 3 hours straight.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
this
the
person
first
was just
time,
like, hey, you heard of Pizzagate? Guess what?
Yeah.
Lock it in, buckle up. Here's 5 hours of
Here we
content.
fucking go.
Did I mention that I started my own YouTube channel?
It was insane, honestly.
You know what? I think... Okay. This is going to be bad to do this, but I think that I heard, and I could be completely wrong, and I don't know anything about it necessarily, but I think that there was one senator that got caught with like child pornography. This was after the Pizzagate theory came out, and one of them got caught with child pornography, and then everybody was like, see, Pizzagate is real because of this one instance.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that, and I was just like, oh, God. The whole Alex Jones crowd.
Right. Just like fuel to the fire, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, no, every time I see Pizzagate now and I see that sushi place I live across the street from, I'm just triggered and, you know. Yeah, so fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Oh, God. Could you have gone out with him again if okay, let's say he was conservative. Let's say that you match with another conservative person, but they're not like conspiracy theory conservative. You think you could make that work?
I tried that as well. And that went for a little bit longer than it did with this guy, but it still didn't go far at all.
What happened? What was the downfall?
It was just, he was just like too, like, every time like I would like bring up stuff like in support of like LGBT rights or whatever, like he would always be like, oh, well, you know, like it was just like very like, it was like homophobic things or like, it was like discreetly like racist things, kind of like, you know, and like even like every now and then like I would get like ableist things, like he would send me like memes where it was like there was one and like I hate it because like I work with like just in general, don't shit on someone that has like a disability, you know what I mean? But then this also like kind of like hit for me because like I work with kids who have autism. I'm a behavior interventionist, and he sent me a meme and I don't remember like what the meme was. I just remember like Hillary Clinton's face was in it. And then on the caption, it said, like, autistic screeching or something. And it would just be things like that. And then, like, sexist things and, like, racist things. And I'm just like, no. It was just too much for me. I couldn't do it. And I'm just like, just be a decent human being.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's really not that hard to be nice. If anything, it takes more effort to be an asshole like you are. So just don't do that, you know?
I don't know where the conservative women are in LA. Because I've heard people like...
Santa Clarita and Palmdale.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I've had people
I've
on
lived
here...
in both cities, I know.
I've had everybody that I've been on here, like, usually will be somebody like, yeah, I can't do conservatives. I want to find conservative people. Because you just can't find them.
That would be...
I would
that would
love
make
to
for
talk
an
to them.
interesting podcast, honestly.
Yeah, because they probably have difficulties, especially out here. I mean, it's a very uber liberal city. Mm-hmm. And I would like to hear what their deal is. You know, if they're like, yeah, I support Trump, but like, doesn't mean I don't deserve love.
Right,
you know?
like I'm deserving of love too, you know? Which,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, definitely from what I've seen, because like I said, I've lived in both areas. Santa Clarita and just like Antelope Valley, like Palmdale and whatnot, there's a pretty good concentration of just conservative people. Like Santa Clarita has like more liberal, like it's kind of like equal parts like conservative and liberal, but you definitely do run into the like, oh, hey, cool, okay, I want to interact with you.
Yeah, because I've only known women that have run into conservative men, but I've never run into a conservative woman out here It's weird.
Yeah, not in LA.
Just
but
like I also want to meet a Scientologist. I don't think I've met a Scientologist down here.
That would be interesting.
Well, I mean, not even for this podcast. I just want to meet a Scientologist that's not like on the street barking at me, like being like, "Hey, you want to fucking here's Dianetics or whatever."
Right, like go and talk with them, suddenly you're recruited. You know?
Yeah, I would just like to organically meet, like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, blah blah blah." We're talking, and it's like, "Oh, I mean, I'm a Scientologist," and be like, "Wait a minute,
wait, what?
What?
Y'all exist?" I'm not stupid, but yeah, my grandma used to live across the street from the Big Blue, which is what they call the Big Blue Scientologist Church in Hollywood. So
like
every
dormitory looking thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of hard to miss. It's like off of Fountain Avenue and like Santa Monica's like a block over, but Fountain and Western. That's pretty much where it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time like I would like visit my grandma, like you would always see like the people like on their bikes or just like walking around and whatnot. And I remember one time like I was just curious because there's like a street, like it's not necessarily like a street that's like a dead end and like leads into like the church or something, but you're driving like right by the church, right next to it. So I'm like, I'm just curious. Like I've never driven down the street. I kind of want to see the church like as close as I can get, you know? And I remember, like, while I was, like, driving, there was, like, some, like, Scientologists outside, and they were just, like, watching my car, like, staring me down. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I'll just go before they, like, tag me down or something. It kind of freaked me out, honestly.
It's a little freaky.
Yeah.
I think on the second episode of this podcast, I talked about how I went on a date with a girl in D.C.
Okay.
And her idea of like a good first date, we went to get dinner, and then she was like, "You want to go to the Church of Scientology and just like check it out?"
Wait, just like unironically?
No, ironically, yeah,
okay.
for sure. But we like went to the Church of Scientology in D.C. and we were just walking around, looking at the books and stuff, and like nobody bothered us. But I feel like the Scientologists in LA are like more hardcore.
Like they'll hound you down, I feel like.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like they're like, "What are you doing here? What's," I mean, there's so many like exposés on them now and people infiltrating them. Yep. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We just took a fucking detour on Scientology.
Pretty much.
Lord.
Gosh, yeah, and I know they have like different like centers like around like LA. Like they have like the Museum of Psychiatry, which is disguised as a museum, and then it's actually like a whole like plot.
Isn't that on Hollywood Boulevard?
It's I think it's near, if not on. I don't know. I just know like it's in Hollywood itself, and they have
the
like
Celebrity Center across from UCB.
They have the Celebrity Center. Funny enough, I've actually been there at the Celebrity Center, and
For what?
Okay. So when I was a youngin, I was maybe 15, right? And when I was living in Santa Clarita, like I mentioned earlier, I was attending a performing arts school. And at this time in my life, like I was just a total like theater kid. Like I was in theater like at my school, and like I was going to this performing arts school, and I was doing some like extra work for like TV and commercials like on the side and whatnot. So it was a fun time. And at this performing arts school, I was part of a hip hop team. Yeah. Can you believe I'm like the most uncoordinated person? I mean, you don't know that, but like I am, right? Yeah. And you didn't even have to like audition to be on this team. It's just like because it was like a class, and if you signed up for it, oh hey, you're on a hip hop team now.
Hell yeah.
So I remember we were like practicing like different dances and whatnot, and then they're like, oh yeah, like our next show, like I think it was like a winter show or something because it was in December. And they're like, oh, it's going to be at the Celebrity Center in Hollywood. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I've never heard of that Celebrity Center and stuff, right? And then we go, and then I just say Celebrity Center, and then I say Scientology. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what's going on? So I've been there twice, actually. Like, we've performed there twice.
So you performed hip-hop dance at the Scientology Celebrity Center?
Hip-hop, it's very loose. There is a video of our group on YouTube, and you could see me. Because our team was mostly people younger than me, so I was like the tallest one. It was really embarrassing. Not proud of it.
After this is done recording, we're watching that video.
If I could find it, but hopefully not. So, yeah, no, like I just like stick out like a sore thumb and like, but long story short, yes, I've been to the Celebrity Center. And the Celebrity Center itself, it's not sketchy, like because we were around like the stage and whatnot, but we also didn't go inside the building, so I don't know what happens inside the building.
Yeah, that's where all the
weird shit happens. Yeah
I try not to take any kind of like political whatever kind of stances on here, but Dude, Scientology is mad weird, bro.
It's mad weird. Mad weird. Oh my God.
I try to be open and everything, but like, I'm sure that really just doomed my chances of having a Scientologist come on here, but I'd be open to it. Watch me have a Scientologist on here, and then I get converted, and then I just shoot up the star rankings. I might do it just for the fucking networking.
Tom Cruise who? That would be crazy. Like, I would be excited. If you do bring a Scientologist on here, I will be listening for that. And a conservative woman.
Anyway, back to dating. Sorry.
Cool. Yes.
Scientology detour.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I gotta crack my back. Sorry. That was weird. So, yeah. Which one do you think is better? Which do you like better, Tinder or Bumble?
Ooh, that's it. Okay.
What do you think? Which app do you think you get better quality matches on?
Bumble.
Bumble?
Bumble. But it's really funny because my favorite ex so like I have like 2 exes from dating apps. One's from Tinder, one's from Bumble. Mm-hmm. My favorite one is from Tinder.
How long did you guys date for?
I mean, not too long. It was like maybe like 6 months or something.
That's significant enough.
Yeah, but he was also like the only like normal person on the app, and he was like the first person I've ever had like a healthy relationship with too. So as far as like, better quality matches, Bumble for sure though. Yeah.
Like better, you've had better first dates from Bumble than Tinder.
Exactly.
Have you ever tried Hinge?
I tried Hinge.
I feel like I should be getting paid by Hinge because every time that I'm doing them, like I feel like Hinge is the best one.
Yeah, you should do like a sponsorship for
do a little
them or
SponCon. Hinge,
yeah.
hit me up.
Yeah.
Datingishardcomedy.com. Got a contact page. Give me some ducats.
Right, this is like free advertising at this point for them, yeah. But I did try Hinge for a little bit, and I don't know why. It just like I like the concept of it, like where you like it forces you to write like a little bit more about you. So It's like, but for whatever reason, like it just wasn't clicking with me, and like maybe it was just the area I was in, but I also wasn't finding like a lot of people too, and I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't my thing, but I do like the concept of it.
Yeah, I really like the concept of it too. Like I think it gives you more things to talk about. It shows off your personality a bit more.
Right.
Or like, your perceived personality. But like OkCupid used to be like that too, where you have like a whole profile where you write stuff, but now that's changed.
Uh-huh. I have never tried that.
OkCupid?
Yeah.
It's pretty legit.
Yeah.
So that was the first one I ever used.
Okay.
And it was back in college.
Yeah,
and
that's been around for a while, right?
Oh, it's been around.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in college. This is like 10 years ago. So I had it then. It was the only free option really for online dating.
Okay.
And so I had that, and you had like a whole profile. It was like, here's my about me, interests, like all this other shit.
Right.
And I think it took like a dip once Tinder started to like blow up, because then that was when, I don't know if you remember this or if you were on it or whatever, but Tinder was supposed to be like the hookup app, quote unquote.
I feel like it's still kind of like, it still has that stereotype to it, but it's not really so much that anymore, but it still has that like
it has like more, I would say it has more like a skeezier vibe than Bumble.
Yeah.
But it's the most popular one at this point.
Exactly.
So, but then I feel like OkCupid's kind of on the upswing now. They're like doing a lot of rebranding. I think
I've seen more ads for it lately as well,
yeah.
So that's what's kind of like reminded me about it. I'm like, oh yeah, like OkCupid, like that's the thing, but like I just haven't used it.
What do you think is the worst dating app?
The worst dating, like of the ones I've used, or
yeah,
of the ones I've used. Let me see.
Of the ones you use, and then in general.
Well, I don't know if I can say in general because that wouldn't be like a fair, answer, but
Nazi swipe. That's probably.
I think I used that. There were a couple that I was definitely sketched out by, and I'm trying to remember the names. Plenty of Fish. I was just sketched out by.
Yeah, that's the usual.
I was sketched out by that. I was on that for like not even like half an hour. I was just like, no, nope. And then I was out. I couldn't do it.
The last time I was on dating apps to like actually date, I downloaded every single dating app that I could find. Uh-huh. And I was on like, there's one called like Hilly. There's another.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, I was on like Zoosk or something.
Oh my God, you were on Zoosk.
I was on Facebook dating for a little bit.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. There's Facebook dating?
Facebook dating has an app now, and it's trash. There's nobody on it.
It's Facebook?
Well,
I didn't even know there was a Facebook dating app.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook had already lost so much trust in people with their privacy invasion.
Absolutely.
So it's like people, number one, hate Facebook now. It's all about Instagram at this point.
Yeah.
But Facebook dating is a thing, and the only people on it are monsters. And they're like not
Facebook.
They're not going to overtake Tinder or Bumble. Like, they're the most popular ones, and Facebook's not going to do it. It was like when Google Plus tried to take over Facebook.
Oh my God, that was a mess.
That was
You remember
embarrassing. That was just embarrassing, dude. Like,
that was really sad. I remember getting like, because like I used to have a Google Plus, and it was only for the sake of, it was really weird, for my AP Econ class in high school, my senior year, my teacher decided not to have like an online forum or like a platform or whatever. So she's like, okay, if we're gonna do like forums and discussion boards, we're gonna do it all on Google Plus, so y'all need to make a Google Plus. And we're like, what? That's the first and last time I ever used Google Plus, and I had completely forgotten about it, right? Like, I got an email maybe like a couple months ago, like, hey, we're shutting down Google Plus, so if you have any info on your account, and I'm like, I actually forgot I had Google Plus.
Yeah, it's easy to forget because no one ever fucking used it.
No one ever used it, yeah.
But, yeah. You got any, like, notable, this was your worst first date story?
Worst first date?
One that just sticks out above the rest where you're just like, I don't even know what this person was thinking.
Oh. I don't know if there was, like, one that was, like, so horrible where, like, I felt like I needed, like, an escape plan for the day or something. Like, that, like, first dates, like, I haven't had, like, too many, like, really bad experiences, but there was...
That's good.
Yeah, which is good. Which is good. But I remember there was one guy who, and, yeah, I mean, like, we just went on, like, that one date, and, like, that was it, but that's just because, like, I just decided I wasn't interested in him. And he was... new to the U.S. as in, like, he had been here for maybe, like, 5 years or something, right? Like, he was Armenian from Lebanon or something like that, right? And I'm Armenian as well. So he told me, he's like, hey, just to let you know, like, I speak English fluently, but I'm more comfortable, like, speaking in Armenian. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's totally cool.
You speak Armenian?
Yeah, I speak Eastern and Western dialects both, yeah. So I'm like, cool, right? So we met up for our date, and immediately he just, like, walks in. And something about, like, Armenian guys, Middle Eastern guys, Arab guys, like, I'm very attracted to them, but at the same time, I'm not, because some of them could just be so cocky.
Oh, yeah.
Cocky, and, like, they just, like, I feel like they, like, bathe in, like, cologne or something, because, like, as soon as this guy walked in, I was just, like, hit in the face with, like, Giorgio Armani, like, cologne or something like that, right? I'm like, oh, my God, okay. And I can't even tell you, like, which one. I'm just like, oh, that's a bit much. So he sat down and just, like, immediately he had, like, that very, like, frat boy, like, presence kind of, like, you know. And so we sat down and we're, like, eating and whatnot. And then he, like, started talking in Armenian. But the thing is, like I said, I'm fluent. This guy started speaking so fast. I swear, like, I don't know if you've ever watched, like, the news in, like, another language or something, but, like, how fast they speak.
Yeah.
That's how fast this guy was speaking. And I'm like, yo, okay, hold on. I don't know what you're saying. And that was my first language. and like, just like with the conspiracy theorist guy, this one was like barely letting me speak as well. So I was just there eating my food. I'm like, yep. Oh, cool. Yeah,
oh, wow,
yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, if I already said like 3 that's crazy, then that's probably a sign that you need to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I've seen that meme.
Yeah, so that was just, like, not pleasant. And then I found out that he was just on Tinder just to, you know,
Smash.
Just a smash. Yeah, exactly.
Smash.
He just wanted to smash, and I'm just like, not, you know, let me get to know you, but also no. So, other than that, yeah, no, I mean, like, I've had some pretty good experiences. There was one, actually, that was pretty funny, and, like, I would say we're friends, actually. So, we initially didn't meet off of a dating app, but we reconnected because of Bumble.
Okay.
Yeah. And, so this was September 2018, I think, right? And I had, like, what was it? Like, I had went to, like, a party that my friend was having, like, in Santa Barbara, like, on a Saturday, whatever. And then Sunday night, I was driving back to, like, you know, where I live. And like on my way, like, you know, exit off the freeway, I'm about to like, you know, turn onto my street, and there's like a Walgreens, like, and I'm like, oh wait, like I need to get like shampoo and shit. Like let me go let me go to Walgreens and pick all that up, right? So I go in there, and mind you, I just came back from a party in Santa Barbara. I don't know if you've been to a party in Santa Barbara, but those people know how to party, and it's kind of crazy. I'm not a big party person myself.
I have no idea how to party, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to hang.
Yeah, no,
This is my idea of a party right now.
Yeah, this is a party. This is pretty fun. But yeah, no, like just like I hadn't like washed my face in the morning, so I had like a little like makeup under my eyes, and like my hair, like I definitely needed a shower. Like I was just like not looking hot, you know. And so I'm in like the hair aisle, right, like looking at like all the shampoos and stuff. And there was one guy that like walked into the aisle, and like, you know, like I just smiled, like I don't know, like if you're passing by someone, like I don't know, I just naturally smile and stuff, right? And I was like, oh, like he's kind of cute, like I don't know, whatever and stuff, right? I'm still looking at like the hair care pockets, whatever. And then he turns around, he's like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but can I ask you a question? Like I need help. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like what's up, right? And then he's like, okay, so my sister sent me here to get her hair ties, and I don't know which hair ties to get her. I didn't realize there were so many options. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's random, but like, sure. Like, let me, like, what's your sister's hair like? Because like, the thing is, like, with like hair ties, there's some that are really thin and they break easily. And I just wanted to see what her hair type was like, so I could get a good one.
I feel like this guy had no idea what his sister's hair type was.
Yeah, well, so I asked him, right? And he's like, oh, it's curly, it's thick, it's very like Middle Eastern hair. And the thing is, like, we live in San Fernando Valley, and I'm just like, okay, Middle Eastern, okay, this guy's either Arab or Armenian or something, right? Mind you, he looks like a white guy. I definitely don't look Armenian at all, so neither of us really suspected this about each other. But I was like, are you Armenian? And he looks so taken aback. He's like, wait, yeah, I am. And I'm like, yo, me too. I said hi to him in Armenian. That caught him off guard even more. And then, so I helped him pick out a hair tie. Long story short, we exchanged phone numbers. Everything was going. We went on, like, a date and whatnot. The date went well. And then, I forget who ghosted who, but we just stopped talking for, like, a couple months, right?
Yeah.
I was on Bumble maybe, like, 2-3 months later. And his profile just pops up. And I'm like, oh. Okay, he was the one that ghosted me. So I'm like, okay, I could swipe right on him. But if he's the one that ghosted me, that probably means he's not interested in me. I swiped right, and it was just because I was curious, and it turns out we matched. And, you know, we just, like, talked from there. And, like, everything was, like, good. Like, we met up, for drinks. Everything was chill. And that's just kind of how it's been for us, like, since. Like, one of us will just, like, ghost the other unintentionally because we're both just, like, so busy.
Yeah. And
then because, like, I delete, like, my apps and, like, reinstall them just, like, periodically, I'll run into him again, and then we'll match again, and then we'll meet up, and then someone will ghost, and it's just, like, a vicious repeating cycle.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people like that in my life where just, like, months go by and you're like, hey, are you still a thing? Is this still a thing?
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, I guess not, but like we can meet up.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could see you again.
There's one girl that I've matched with like 3 times, and like we're like we met up a couple times, and it's exactly like this scenario that you're talking about.
Right.
And the last time I got on dating apps, I installed them all, and then I saw her on Instagram. And then I just messaged her. I was like, hey, I just got back on dating apps, and I'm assuming we're going to match again. So you want to just go out and skip that part?
Skipping the awkward small talk, you know?
She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And we're already at this point of like, we just stopped talking. So probably like 2 months from now.
Y'all will probably talk again.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Well, at least you know what to expect. That's good.
You know. Sometimes you have those relationships with people.
It just happens. It's weird, but life's weird, so.
Life is weird.
Life is so weird.
Just a small recurring character in the movie of your life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. If your life were a movie, what would the title of it be, you think?
What would the title of it be?
Yeah, a title of a movie about your life. I don't even know the answer to mine. I'll have to
I was going to say, this is hard. Probably something about, like It would be banging your head against the wall. Banging my head against the wall would be the name of mine.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Hey, it works, you know?
Banging my head against the wall, the Joe Welkie story.
Joe Welkie story. I like that. It has a nice little jingle to it.
What about you?
Yeah, see, I don't even know.
I have the name. I haven't recorded any kind of comedy special, but I have the name for like the first 5 of my comedy specials.
Really?
First one, nobody fucking steal this. This is my idea. Okay,
you heard this disclaimer. Don't steal it.
Copyright. First one's called I Hate Joe Welkie.
Okay.
Second one, I Hate Joe Welkie 2. Like TOO and the number 2.
I wonder what comes next.
No, next one is Me 3.
Oh my god.
Fourth one is wait, who is Joe Welkie?
Oh my god. So okay.
Fifth one is he's a stand-up comedian. Sixth one is oh yeah, I've heard of that guy.
So it's like it starts from hating the guy and then realizing that they know nothing about the guy and then slowly learning about the guy.
Yep.
Wow. So
it's like a conversation between 2 people.
Yeah, it's like a story within a series.
I have like 6 or 7 of them. Like it could go on forever.
That is so great.
It could just go on, just like this ongoing conversation. I think that's so funny and so genius, but I just don't have any of the... I should record a fucking album. I'm at that. I could do it.
You really should. You already have the names.
Yeah, I already have the names. I gotta get started on I Hate Joe Welkie.
Yeah. So again, don't steal it.
No.
To the audience at home.
If you fucking steal my idea, I will be so mad. Yeah, whatever. I'll probably never do it anyway. You have any more, like, but what was the movie of your life? What is it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I would probably say, I would have to think about that. You could probably, like, edit out the silence, because I don't know.
Nope, there's no editing.
No editing? Damn it. Oh my god, don't do that. Maybe. Wow, this is hard.
Boom. Time's up.
Yeah, no, wow. I'll have to get back to you about that.
All right, fine.
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you. Sorry about that.
They like presented this fucking question for me, and then you're like,
and
I
then,
don't have an
I
answer.
realized I don't even know the answer to it.
You have any more worst dating stories before you wrap up?
Let me see. Oh, okay.
Doesn't have to be first date. It could just be like...
Yeah, it could just be...
like a shitty breakup or something.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, there was this one person. It was actually really funny. We never ended up meeting in person. Right? No, should I tell this story or should I tell the other one? I think I was telling you about one that, like, my roommate... Yeah. Okay. So that one's pretty crazy. The guy ended up just being very not great, right? So...
Hold on. You gotta start back. This was before we recorded when I met Nelly like a half hour before we started recording, and then we were, like, getting into a story, and I was like, stop, save it. That's right. I feel like anyone listening that has done this podcast before, that has, like, started to tell a story before recording, they know that I do that. I'm just like, stop, save it.
Right, just like the big eyes, the hands in the face. It's like, no, don't tell the story until we get to the podcast. So my roommate, she ended up matching with this guy, right? And honestly, like, he seemed like a really cool guy. And, like, you know, from what, like, she was telling me and stuff, right? But the thing is, she was telling me all about this guy after everything that happened. So what happened was I got home and it was a Tuesday night. I remember this specifically. It was a Tuesday night. It was this past Halloween. And I get home from work and she's like, hey, there's this guy on Bumble. He says that he can get us into Halsey's Halloween party.
What?
Now, listen, I am obsessed with Halsey. I fucking love Halsey. Like, I've always wanted to go to one of her concerts or meet her, and there's this guy saying that he can get us into Halsey's Halloween party, but then I'm also just like, wait, how do we know this guy is, like, not... Legit. Yeah, how do we know he's being legit? How do we know this isn't, like, a recruitment scheme for human trafficking or something? You know what I mean? So she's like, girl, same, like, I don't know.
Your human trafficking.
What? Hey, okay.
I'm just fucking.
Yeah. So, like, how do we know this guy's being legit? And she's like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to figure out that same thing. So her and the guy, they end up talking more. I'm just, putting all my stuff down, whatever. He sends her a phone number. And it's like, it has like a local area code, right? Like, and I'm just like, wait a minute. So we're both looking at this phone number. And she asks him, like, wait, whose phone number is this? And he's like, it's Ashley's number. Ashley is Halsey's real name.
Oh, shit.
So we're just looking at each other, and I'm just like, hold on. Why would he just freely give out a celebrity's personal phone number like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just seemed like really off to me.
It's irresponsible.
Pretty irresponsible. And I guess, like I don't remember, like, what he does, but he works in entertainment. I can't remember if he said he works with Halsey or whatnot, so that's why he's able to do all that. So we have this phone number, and we don't want to just, he's like, yeah, like, just go ahead and text it and say RSVP. We don't want to just text it, because what if it's just some random person, now they have our phone number and they can track us down or something and stuff, right? We go onto a reverse number search website, like, where you look up someone's number and stuff. They have to, like, pay to, like, get the information on the phone number. And I'm like, you know what? I love Halsey so much. I pulled out my wallet and I got out my debit card.
Got your identity stolen.
Got my identity stolen, right? But I did it because that's just, it's stupid, but that's how much I love Halsey, okay?
Yeah.
And, so we're looking up the phone number, and it doesn't tell us the name of who it belongs to, but it does say that, like, it's a cell phone in, like, North Hollywood or something. Mm-hmm. So we're like, oh, shit. Like, okay, that's... Okay, fine. So my roommate took the jump, and she texted the number, RSVP, and it was a generated message, but there was a link to it, and the link was actually, like the legitimate invitation to her party. So we're like, oh my god, like, wait, this is actually Halsey's party.
Yeah.
And I think, like, she ended up, like, FaceTiming the guy as well, and he was laughing. He's like, I don't know, like, like, why you guys are so skeptical. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but, like, it's real and stuff.
You have very good reason to be skeptical.
Very good reasons to be skeptical, you know what I mean? But
shit like that just doesn't happen, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I feel like it's, like, a very LA thing to, like, oh my gosh, like, maybe you'll be able to, like, interact with celebrities or something if you live in LA, but at the same time, it just doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we're just like, you know what? Fuck it. And, like, I had work the night that, like, we had, like, the party was. It was, like, a Friday night. I just called out of work. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have a family obligation. I can't go to work today. But went to work, and it was, honestly, it was just... No, I'm sorry, went to the party, and it was just such a fun time. Like, we were, like, the guy was there, he brought, like, one of his friends or something, and, like, me and my roommate, we just had a blast. We were, like, right by the stage, so Halsey was, like, right there within, like, arm's reach. I was dying. I was just having an amazing time, right? So I was mostly just interacting with, like, my roommate, and, like, like, I wasn't really, like, talking to the guy very much.
Yeah.
And then we got home, and she's like, hey, so just for, like, the sake of the podcast, like, I'll call him, like, Chad or something, because he just gave me very Chad vibes. I don't know, right? And she's just like, hey, so Chad just texted me. He said that he likes you. I'm like, that was your match. What? Is this normal? Like, if you match with someone and then you meet their friends and then you tell the person you matched with, like, hey, I like your friend, not really you, like...
I'm trying to think of a time if I've ever done that, if that has ever happened with me, and I can't think of that if it ever happened. But I don't, this is coming from my perspective, I wouldn't see a problem with it if that was the first time that your roommate met Chad, and then be like, hey, this is my friend. Like, you can have that feeling of, like, hey, we're not a good match, but, like, I kind of like your friend,
like
friend
the roommate.
single.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, like, I was just, like... y'all matched with each other. Like, I was just there. Like I said, I wasn't really interacting with him much. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just felt very weird about it. And he kept, like, like, every time, like, because we ended up, like, following each other on, like, Instagram, like, before the party happened. And like, every time, like, I would, like, post something to my story, he would, like, reply to it. And when it came time for, like, the party, I think, like, no, it was after the party. I'm sorry. He was sending me, like, pictures and whatnot. And then, like, I would, like, go to my roommate and just casually be like, oh, hey, like, did you get the pictures from Chad? And she's like, no, I didn't get the pictures. What do you mean? So he was talking more to me than he was to her. And I'm just like, that is not cool. Like, what? I don't know. That just came off as very weird to me. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of that.
I think it's less weird than you're making it.
Is it? I don't know. I was just...
Yeah. I mean, it is a little weird.
It
but
is
I think
weird.
it's not, like... I could see how you'd be weirded out by it, but
I mean,
also,
like if that was like her actual boyfriend, obviously that would be weird.
Yeah, that would have been way weirder. But it was like that was the first time they met, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, you're cool, but like I kind of have more of like a thing for your roommate." I don't. This is just my thing. Is like I wouldn't see a problem with that, and I wouldn't know why. I would understand why you would have a problem with it. But I could also see why it would work out. You know what I mean? Like, I see both sides.
Right.
I get where Chad's coming from. I get where you're coming from.
Right.
And at that point, it's like, that's just your decision.
That's just my decision. I mean, I just wasn't interested in general.
Yeah, he's got very Chad vibes, of course not.
Yeah, so I'm just like, no, like, I'm not here for it. I mean, like, he and, like, my roommate, they were actually pretty cute together. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, I was just like, no, like, I'm not here for it.
Yeah.
That's just me, though. Yeah.
Oh, well. Poor Chad.
Yeah, well,
He's hanging out with Halsey, though. He's good.
Yeah, so it's all good. Like
He's got that in the bag, too.
Yeah,
you know that's like a lure for his matches.
Probably. I don't know.
You're like, hey, you like Halsey? I got tickets to see Halsey. I'm like really cool with her. You
like what?
So many girls like Halsey.
Yeah. Yeah. Halsey's pretty, you know?
Well, what if Halsey matched with your roommate and then she was like, actually, I'm more interested in your roommate? Yeah, you'd fucking go for it, you son of a bitch.
Okay, you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me.
All right, I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up.
Yeah.
You ready for that?
I am ready. Let's go.
All right, last couple questions. I ask everybody, if you could change one thing about dating, what would you change about it? Doesn't have to be about apps, just dating in general.
I guess like more honesty and like open communication. Like obviously like don't give me your life story like right from the get-go, like on the first date. Like I don't want to hear about how
hey,
like
what's up? I'm Joe. I was molested.
yeah, like you could say that for another time,
Yeah.
but like
ease into it.
but at the same time still be pretty honest and open like about who you are and like maybe like what you expect from like whatever it's going to be it like relationship, friends with benefits, like whatever it might be. Yeah, that would just be like my big thing. Like don't lie about who you are, just be honest.
There you go. Well, the last question is, I feel like you've already answered it, but I'll ask it anyway. What's one piece of advice that you'd give people listening about dating?
Be honest with the people that you are interested in. And like I said, be like, you're interested in a relationship, whether it's friends with benefits, like you're literally just like trying to like make friends and then see where it goes. Like no matter what it is, just be honest. If the right person is interested in you for, who you are, like it'll happen. Like just don't try to like fabricate parts of yourself. Hell
yeah. All right, Nelly, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you,
got
Joe.
anything,
Thanks for having me.
any other stuff that you want to talk about?
No, I mean, just thank you so much for having me on. This is honestly a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Glad you had a good time.
Yeah.
There you have it, everybody. That was my chat with Nelly. Hope you enjoyed it. For all information about this show, datingishardcomedy.com is the place to go. Oh, God, I just rhymed. Oh, my God, no. Follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy. Follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie for all updates on this show. I'm so ashamed right now for rhyming like an idiot. Oh, God. Ugh. Anyway, if you could please subscribe, rate, review, give this a 5 stars. Tell your friends if you're enjoying it. I really am having a good time doing this podcast when I'm not rhyming like a complete tool bag. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, giving it a listen. And until next time, later.